All right, everybody, welcome back to the Burn Boot Camp podcast. My name is Devan Kline, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. We're going to talk about the importance of community and fitness. All right. Now, if you know about Burn, then you know that we hang our hat on the community. Okay. This isn't about the workout or push-ups or burpees or, how much we can back squat or how many, what our PRs are. This is really more about, you and I together showing up around, the fire pit that is those exercises. Like, you don't show up to the fire pit for the fire. You show up to the fire pit for the people around the fire, for good communication, for, interaction, and for you to be social, right? And so now let's layer on some real hard work with that. And now we have a common denominator. That hard work is the actual pain that we go through. That's the bond. That's the glue that we all have together. So we show up around this fire pit, which is, push-ups, let's say, and together we connect as a community. We all go through something really hard together. Well, that collective, like, if you will, like suffering, quote unquote, that pain that we go through together is the glue that bonds us all together as a community. So we have the opportunity to really go through like hell and back, right? And when you do that with somebody right by your side, you're now bonded to that person for life. So that's the real importance of the community essence or element behind fitness, where, let's talk about like the opposite. What is the highest form of human punishment? Well, if you get in trouble for doing something that you shouldn't do, well, then you go into this little 4x4 cell with bars on it, and it's called solitude or isolation. They put you away, right? So the highest form of human punishment is to be on your own. And actually, at the maximum security prisons, they actually don't allow you to talk. So you can't even talk to the person next to you. And so I'm just saying this to illustrate to you the importance of other people in your fitness journey, because it's going to get hard. You're going to go through ups and downs. You might be able to kind of get started out of the gate on your own, but you're going to need people around you when you go through that inevitable period of motivation and demotivation. So let's talk about that a little bit. It's easy, to be in your living room using Burn Bootcamp on demand by yourself, I think, for an extended period of time, depending on your personality and how much extroversion, you have. But at the end of the day, you're going to get to a point in time in which no matter how motivated of a person you are, you're going to end up being demotivated, because we're human beings and we don't stay motivated full time. Now, we might be able to stay inspired full time. We might be able to pull, some like future vision to like really inspire us at the drop of a dime. But to say that you're motivated all the time is a flat out lie, because I don't think you actually mean that when you say, like, I see somebody and they're motivated all the time. Like, no, they're not. I'm not motivated all the time. In fact, like, I like working out maybe like 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, I'm just going because my friends are going. And it's my responsibility as a part of my peer group, part of my accountability circle, to not only just maintain the standards of that group, but to help elevate them. And so when you do get those inevitable times of demotivation, right, you're going to want something there. Your community is your safety net. Your community is, that peer group, those 10 to 15 to 25 to 35 friends around you at camp. Those are the people that are going to be like texting you when you didn't show up one day. And that's what I mean by safety net, is they're not going to allow you to break the promises to yourself that you've wanted to, stop breaking forever, when you've just been isolated, to yourself. And so I think a story that comes to mind when I talk about community and accountability and really like individual responsibility being a part of that, right? A part of the collective group. We all, in a group of 10 people, need to take that individual responsibility for ourselves to be a part of that group. And then collectively, we kind of set that standard. And back in the day, when we first started in our Huntersville gym, so I basically would give out referral rewards checks to our members in gym. And what started to happen was, because it was a nice incentive and because my members loved Burn Bootcamp, they would take my incentive back to their neighborhood, and they'd go basically, get their 10, their 15 friends in their neighborhood, and they would all come join the gym together. And so what ended up happening was, like, my 5:30 a.m. camp, I would get this just suburban, SUV full of like moms bumping gangster rap at like 5 a.m. on the way to Burn Boot Camp Huntersville, just, murdered out, all black. They got some eye paint on, they like open the minivan door and they just roll out like 16 deep in this minivan. Well, it's because they were going around their neighborhood, literally texting each other like, are you up? I'm here. Are you up? I'm here. And they would load the van up on the way to the gym. And, this was every morning. And it wasn't just at the 5:30 a.m. camp. It was at a lot of those morning camps where people really needed that accountability. And I'll never forget that and I'm dead serious. Like it was like some G unit or something. I walked outside one time and there's just a minivan full of like badass moms, like all shredded. And, they got a couple of their new friends with them and they all roll out, like smoke comes out of the minivan door and like G units like in the background. And it was like, wow. They all like Laura Croft Tomb Raider braids in, they're just all dressed in burn gear. It's awesome, right? It's like awesome. This is what we are missing in fitness. This is why Burn Boot Camp is what it is, because we put that community kind of at the axiom of everything that we do. The fitness is a commodity. Yes, we have great programming. Yes, I believe that our fitness team, our VP of fitness, Matt Morris, our 1,500 plus trainers across Burn Nation, we're the best of the best of the best. We have that standard for ourselves as a community as well. The same way, my members rolling up in a van had that same standard. We go to camp, right? When we go to camp, we're going to war. And so we have the same mentality as trainers. Now, I would be lost in the world if I just thought that push-ups were some unique thing that we invented, just like, Nike sells a commodity, they sell shoes, but it's not the shoes that they're selling. It's not the fitness that we're selling. It's the feeling that you get from wearing the shoes, right? It's the sense of greatness that comes when I put a pair of Nikes on. And I know that the greatest athletes of all time have all been sponsored by a Nike. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, I think two probably the biggest, best athletes of all time, step into a Nike shoe, and it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else can't recreate the same exact shoe. They can't recreate the same feeling that we have when we step into the shoe, because the greats before us have stepped into the shoe. And with fitness, yeah, we can, anybody can do chest press on a terra core. Anybody can do pull-ups. Anybody can, copy our strength and conditioning assessment and they can execute it, right? But can you execute it with the standard of greatness that comes with our communities since the parking lot days when Morgan and I started back in 2012? Okay, we can't. That can't be recreated. That's something inside of our DNA. That's part of the character of our brand. And that's what people feel when they're like, hey, I have no idea why I love this place. I've never actually liked fitness at all. I've never stuck to anything in my life, but I'm obsessed with this place and I'm not going to miss it. And I don't know why. And I think the majority of the time is that answer is you're not going to miss it. Not for yourself. You're not going to miss it for those promises that you made to other people who you've said, hold me accountable. You've said, hold my standard high. You've said, I'm not getting encouragement in the four walls of my home like I need. I need you. I need the four walls of Burn Boot Camp. I need this minivan ride. I need to feel a part of something that's bigger than myself, because I'm not just going to the gym to look fit and toned. I might think that cognitively, but in a deep, intrinsic, inherent sense, you're going to the gym. You love Burn and you won't miss it, and you're obsessed with it because of the people that you get to do it with, and what that means in your life, and the feelings that you get from that meaning in your life, from being a part of something with such a high standard. Now all of a sudden you raise your standards, right? And when you raise your standard, what happens is the circle of people in your life that aren't connected with the gym, those people see you. They see you raising your own standard. They're like, what are you doing? What's going on with you? You really turned a new leaf. You've really become somebody different. And they mean that in the most positive, uplifting sense possible. So what you're doing, and in turn, by being a part of Burn Bootcamp's community, through the osmosis of your energy, you are infecting that energy, that positive energy amongst the people that you actually care for in your life. And it's forcing them to elevate their standard just through your actions without you having to say a single word. And so we could talk about, shared goals and progress and the knowledge and the skill sharing and the resilience and the overcoming of challenges and all those things that I think are surface level when it comes to what is a community, what is a team. Like, I think every team has those elements. I just wanted to talk about what the real core essence of community is. And it's that sense of encouragement and belonging that is a void in your heart somewhere else in your life. For me, it was baseball. When I left baseball, I had this huge void in my heart. I used to be a part of a championship culture. I was a Central Michigan Chippewa. I was a San Francisco Giant in the minor leagues. Well, we expect to win, and we expect to win together, and we expect to celebrate one another when we do win. And the first thing we get to say in an interview as a championship culture when we're hoisting up the trophy is that I couldn't do this without my team, and this is a team win. And so I think there's a sense of that at Burn Bootcamp that can't be recreated. It can't be duplicated with technology, and it can't be copied. So many people, many brands, many organizations look up to Burn, and I'm so grateful for that. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And you can look at what we're doing, and you can recreate the actual fire pit, the actual fitness. You can build a fire. Building a fire is not proprietary. Sitting around the fireplace and what you talk about and the ideas that you share, those are the things that can't be recreated. So that's my word for today, everybody. Listen, I'm so excited you're here. If you do want to check out more from me, I have my own show, by the way, and I'm evolving it every week. It's called The Devan Kline Show, and it's just where we get to go deeper on this stuff. I get a chance to come here once a week and speak with you, and I'm so grateful that you're here, for your time and your attention. Share this with somebody in your life that, could really use a deeper definition of community that maybe they've been working out and they're committed, but they just don't know what they're missing from it. They're getting a little bit disenchanted with it. And maybe they need to hear that there's a team out there that will elevate their standard, that will welcome them in with open arms, and will inherently make them better. Because we're not building muscle at Burn. We are. But more importantly, we're building character. All right, y'all. Subscribe, okay? If you're on Apple, Spotify, you got to follow us. You got to subscribe. That way you get every single episode. We appreciate y'all so much. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.